So I'm going to yell out a prompt of like who does what, and then if you are the one that you think does it, you point to yourself with a thumbs back, and if it's your partner, then you're going to point to them, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So who washes the most dishes? Or you can do like one of these if it's both of us. I was going to say both of us. Do you know what I'm saying? Look at me.
What?
It's like a both of us thing.
Oh, this is both of us?
Uh-huh. Okay.
When do we open our eyes?
We just keep them closed.
The whole time?
The whole thing. Uh-huh.
Oh, so we never get to see the answers?
Yeah, and then we'll see if we
Oh.
can watch it back. Okay, so let's start over.
Oh, okay. Okay, I get it.
Okay, so who washes the most dishes? Who takes out the trash the most? Who cleans the dog the most? You have a dog. Okay, sorry. Oh, we used to have a dog. Okay. Who services the cars the most? Who changes the most diapers? Who feeds the baby the most? Who goes to work the most? Who makes dinner the most? Who bakes the most? Who disciplines the kids the most? Okay. Who drives the kids around the most? Who gets involved with school the most? And who does activities with the kids the most? Okay, open your eyes. I can't wait to see how he answered those.
I totally won. Welcome back, friends. It's your favorites.
For your favorites.
My wife, Taylor. I'm Jonathan. And I hope you're ready because we have a wonderful show for you today.
So today we will be talking about sharing responsibilities in marriage. Those of you out there who voted on our stories about what topics you wanted to see coming up next, thank you so much for sharing. If you're not following us on Instagram, please do follow our It's More Than Just Paper Instagram page. It's a great place to connect with us and to share your ideas and thoughts on what you'd like to see next. So today we're going to be talking about sharing responsibilities in marriage, and we just can't wait to see what you think about this video. Feel free to share in the comments. Sharing water in marriage? Share in the comments. Like, what do you think of this video? How are you managing sharing responsibilities? It's hard for us because we've got 3 kids to talk about how it was before, like when we first got together about 4 years ago.
Yeah. Sharing the responsibilities?
Yeah.
So I brought to the relationship Jonah, and she brought Louie, and
No,
the first time I ever saw her, well, when she came to my house, she got out of her car, and so you have to picture yourself, some girl, you don't really know her, she shows up to your house, and she gets right to the back seat. I'm watching her from the window, kind of like a creep, just, she's here, I'm getting nervous, she's there, but she comes out with 2 dogs. And 2 like little mini kennels. She's just holding them, and she walks up to my house, and then she puts one down, she knocks on the door, and then she picks it right back up. I was looking through the peephole. So I brought a boy, and she brought
2 dogs.
2 dogs.
And now we have 3 boys and no dogs.
No dogs.
Like, what did your day-to-day look like before I was sort of in the picture?
Woke up early, got the kid to the daycare. I went to work all day. I came home, picked up the kid from daycare. Then I made dinner. I bathed him. And I read him stories at night. We watched television. I put him to sleep. Then I had some me time. And then rinse and repeat.
So John was a single parent at the time. And then I came into his life, and I did end up diving in. You know, my mom was a single mom, and I jumped right in and was like, I'll take all of this off your plate.
Yeah.
And so we've had to find the balance, right? I think for Jonathan, I don't want to speak for you, but I think when I came in, I'm like, I got it. And he was like, you sure? And he would always say, like, you sure? And then over time, he stopped saying, you sure?
Yeah.
I think that's true.
That's true.
And then I ended up building resentments, to be honest, because as much as I loved, like, helping and doing things, like, we got married and everything just kind of happened so fast, right? What do you think?
I kind of built resentments too, because I allowed her to start doing everything, and then I kind of started to have to feel like I had to ask to do things myself. I had to be like, hey babe, do you mind if I go take a shower? Do you mind if I go to Kroger?
What do you think about it now? How have we come along?
Yeah, it's completely ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous. Like, it's not as extreme as what I'm saying, but I'm painting a picture. When you allow someone to do everything, you kind of put yourself into that position where you become reliant upon them in a sort of, I don't know, it's not a way that I feel very comfortable admitting, but I'm admitting it. So we had to work through that really quickly and unravel things.
It's true. And I'm glad you're admitting it. I mean, that's what this channel's all about, like, being honest, you know. I built resentments because I'm like, dude, like, I'm trying to help out, but I don't want to do everything. But then I realized, like, hindsight is 20/20. Like, I did take on a lot more because I just chose to take it on. It's not like John ever said, hey, can you go pick up Jonah for me from school? Like, you never once asked me to do any of those things. I just did them.
Yeah,
because I wanted. I saw my mom, like, struggle, though, so I was
and she never put any mandates on me. I just started to feel like I needed to
check in on
stuff.
And yeah. It's weird. So, I mean, one thing that we can share with you guys is, like, it's so important when you're trying to share responsibilities. We're talking through this real time. We did not prep for this video. But, like, one thing that it's coming up for me right now is, like, it's so important if you're going to share responsibilities, whether you're dating somebody or you're married to them, like, how important it is to communicate exactly what you want. You know? Like, what do I want you, what do I need help with, and what do you want me to help with, kind of thing, right? Would you say?
Absolutely have to. I'm not a really great communicator. I'm getting better.
You don't have to keep saying that. You're getting much better.
Do I say that all the time?
He says it.
Leave the comment below and let me know.
He's said it a few times. You're a much better communicator.
So much better.
Truly, he is.
But I'm not. Let's just be real about it. I'm kind of an introverted person, and you know, I've kind of. What?
You're not an introverted person. He's not introverted with me.
No, not with my
Continue.
wife. Not intro. Anyhow, so what are we talking about? Yeah. What is the topic?
Sharing responsibilities in marriage. Oh my God.
Yeah, we didn't do a great job communicating, you know, our desires and our boundaries and things like that in the beginning, and we had probably crossed those thresholds with one another, and then that's when the resentment started to happen.
It's true.
Except she's much better. You've always been much better than I am at telling me things. Now maybe not in the moment, but she has like a laundry, like there's like a checkbox. There's like 4. Once you get to 4, okay, John stubbed my toe. Okay, John just picked his nose. John just cut me off. Number 4, that guy's not listening. We got problems. We got to talk about it. So she gives me a little grace area, but it builds up like after about 4. Me, you won't hear anything from me until like 3 or 4 weeks later. And then by the time I mention it, I don't even have it in my mind well enough to tell her what's bothering me, and she doesn't even know what the hell I'm talking about. So that's a problem. Her method, I think, is a lot better because...
No, because it's building up and then exploding.
Yeah, well, mine's...
Yours is holding on and then...
So we talk about things now, but we talk about that. We've had to talk about how, you know, I need to work on talking about stuff, and even if she doesn't like it, I still have to tell her, because she could maybe grow from it, or maybe counter that, or maybe give me reasons why things are, and it might debunk what I'm thinking. Because a lot of times, I think you bring to the table kind of from your own experiences. So when you hear people say things or when they do things, at least from my perspective, I'm adding a lot more of my own experience to what they're presenting me with.
That's true.
And so, you know, you judge them probably unfairly and harshly. And in this case, I'm not talking to her about it. So if time goes on, she has no idea that she's done me any wrong from my perception until I bring it to her and then I think it makes her feel much worse about herself. Like, I'm just walking around, I don't like you because I don't tell you what I'm feeling.
Yeah, it's true. And it goes the same way on all sides. You're so right. Like, if you're sitting around just, like, holding on to stuff, like, you're doing all the things. So, like, women, I feel, we do all the things. Like, and nobody's telling us to do all the things. Like, how many times have you told me, like, hey, nobody told you needed to do that? And then I'm just like, yeah, but who else was going to do it? And so I think there's this, like, gray area of not communicating, because it's like, a lot of times we're assuming that somebody's going to do something too. Like, or not going to do something. Like, I might think, oh, those dishes are going to sit right there, and he's probably not going to get them, so I'm going to wait and see. And, like, playing all these little stupid games, like, just do the dishes, or say, hey, can you do those dishes for me, or I need you to handle the dishes, and I'll take care of this. We do a lot of tag teaming, too, I would say. We do a lot.
What was that?
Like, you know how...
Oh, like that. Like...
Oh, we did it on the first try. But we do a lot of tag teaming, too. So, like, we wake up. So before Harrison was born, I would drive the kids and drop them off. And I hated it. I loved it, but I hated it because it was too much driving and I didn't get the chance to work. It was so irritating. I started to hate him for it. I was like, I have to do all this, and you get to go to work, and you get to have a car ride into work, and I'm like, I hate you for this. I wish I could have a car ride in, listening to podcasts. So finally,
I heard her complain about this stuff so much, for so long.
Yeah, and then...
And I'll tell you what, and she has every right, you have every right.
You saw me about to go
now
off?
I'll tell you what, no. Okay, I'm not, just going to say this statement because I want to please women or men or making any of these generalizations, but I do think this man and in this relationship, I've come to realize just how much my wife, the female, does for the home. Especially now that we have 3 kids. I don't go to work early in the morning anymore. I go to work now at 10 a.m. and it's so stressful for me. I have all this anxiety in the morning because I'm starting my day retroactive to what's going on. But I'm cooking for my kids, and I'm getting them ready. I'm with them. Then I drop them off at school. Yeah. And this is all the things that she's been doing for the last 3-4 years. I just kind of took for granted. Well, I'm just going to go to work in the morning. I'll see you later. I'll have my coffee. I'll drive in the morning, 7 a.m., start work, ease into the day. And then she's at home with the pandemonium. So now I'm at home with the pandemonium in the morning. And that's just one way we're sharing stuff. And that's a lot. That's a lot. I'm worn out by the time I get to work, and this whole time I took for granted that this is what she just does every day, and I just assumed that she would do that because she did. I just figured that this is what you do. I'm at work.
But at the flip side of that is, I would complain about it to him, like, oh man, I had this car ride, or oh, I got to do this and this and this and this and this. I'd run through my to-do list, but like, you need to be direct in your communication, right? Like, you need to say, this is hard for me. We need to look at your work schedule so that we can move things around. Or if your spouse isn't willing to like move their schedule around or really truly can't, most of the time they can. That's the thing. I'm not trying to like blow up relationships, but wouldn't you agree, like, had you never talked to your manager, you wouldn't have ever been able to do it. It would have just been something, oh, I can't do that.
I don't know. I'm not entirely convinced on that yet. No? I think we're lucky. Still, like if I was outside working for the city and doing construction stuff, and I don't know that would work for very long, but because of the kind of work that I have, we have some leniency, which is exactly why
we both work.
I should be making those exceptions for my household because I can.
But wouldn't you say most corporate men who work in corporate America probably could manage to? Okay, maybe I should generalize.
I can't speak for the guys, but if you can and you're watching this and you're not, you should.
That's least what I ask.
Think. Because not only does the payoff with your relationship with your wife, but my kids, they get to hang out with me in the morning, which
they love.
That might be special for them.
Well, let me tell you.
Down the road,
well,
they might remember. Thank you very much. They might remember that. I remember when my dad used to curse on the way home when he used to drive us to work. He was spilling his coffee on his pants. I love my dad.
Well, Jonah just told me today, real time, I swear you guys, I'm not making this up. He just told me today, I'm like, do you prefer to have me drive you to school or daddy? And he said, daddy. And I said, why? And he said, because daddy's fun. Daddy makes funny jokes and stuff. I don't know what you're doing in the car, but it's making it hard for me because now he doesn't want to drive with me. I even asked him, you guys, like, do you want me to pick you up? And he said, nope, Daddy. So it does pay off to like be present in your kids' lives, you know. But back to the point though, like truly, these people need to know how important it is to clearly communicate what you need and what you want, not just complain about it. Because venting every day, your spouse just thinks you're complaining. But being direct and saying, hey, here's what my schedule looks like today. I can't take the kids in. I need you to do it. Or we need to talk. I need you to do this, and I'm going to handle these things. And I feel like every day you get to work, running through our day, you get to work after dropping off all the kids, and now I pick them up in the afternoon. We have this big part in the middle of the day where we both do our things. I'm not back to work yet, but I go back in December. So, and then once we get home and we eat dinner, one of us is cooking. He did a lot of the cooking for the past few months while I was pregnant. Or we got takeout, and sometimes I cook, but barely. Before that, we kind of split it, I would say. We go through seasons where he's cooking all the time or where I'm cooking all the time. So then we eat dinner, and then whoever doesn't cook usually cleans. Sometimes you get a double whammy, right? Where you'll cook and you'll clean, or I'll cook and I clean. And then we just take turns for the rest of the night with the kids. Putting them down for bed, teeth brushing, pajamas. We both kind of tag team. Jonah's pretty self-sufficient, though, now that he's older. Sorry, I just rambled, but what are your thoughts on it? Any other thoughts about this topic?
I don't have any other thoughts, but I would sure like to know what you think. And like we said earlier, please leave your thoughts in the comment box below. Hit the bell, ring the bell, subscribe, tell your friends about us, have them tell their friends about us. You know, wax eloquently on, oh, I did my part in the morning, like, no, that's round 2. Now you have to go to round 3, okay? It's time to clean the house up, talk to your wife, don't forget about that, don't forget you gotta check in with her, see how her day's going, ask her about her things, be interested, ask her questions, and then parlay back and forth through the family, and then do all the things again, and then when it's time to go to bed, talk to your wife some more, ask her about some things.
It's not so miserable.
It's not miserable because there's like the recipe is in there, right? It's like that's the recipe. I think if you want to be in a successful relationship, you know, obviously we're left out the fact that she has her own channels, she does her own stuff. I have my own stuff. We have time for that, but as long as we keep communicating with one another, we keep sharing our dialogue, and we share the amount of work that's in our home. Our home will be balanced, it'll be well balanced, energy will be good, and the kids will feel equally loved, and I think they'll know, you know, who's the boss. It's us.
Do you have a second one? That was a lot.
You're like, do you have a second one? I don't have a second one. Do you have a second one? No, I don't have one of those. What about you? Do you have a second one?
Another thing to think about, too, is like, what was I gonna say?
Let's take that with your hand.
Oh, calendaring. Don't forget to calendar. This guy, right here, he brought home a calendar. Big old calendar, so we could write down all the things that are going on. And we do all of our finances together, sharing responsibilities. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We cannot wait to connect with you further.
And whoever used the Starbucks card from the last video, thank you very much. I used it too. It worked.
Why am I doing that?
I don't know. Wait, what were you doing?
I pointed the gas. Pointing the gas.
Like what?
Pointing the gas? I don't know why I said that either.
Show me.
Okay, go out there, share responsibilities, live your best life, be responsible, be accountable, be direct, and make a new life for yourself by being in the driver's seat of your own destiny.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, okay. Thanks, guys. Bye. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time. Camera. We got a camera staring up. I gotta get upstairs, baby. Ouch!
You gotta take